There's more to life than a little money, you know. Don't you know that?
Hey folks, it's the Blind Guy here, and I promised to do a positive movie review after my Wolf of Wall Street review. And so I thought, I'm going to do Fargo, 1996, directed by, it says Joel Coen, but it's actually directed by both Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen. And it says produced by Ethan Coen and written by Ethan Coen, but it's produced by and written by both of them. If you watch their more recent movies, they do that. They now list them both. They weren't allowed to back then, I guess. It's the Screen Actors Guild rule, something along those lines. I've always really liked this movie, and I watched it just recently again the other night, and I like it even more now after watching it again. It'd been a few years since I had seen it, and this is probably my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Yeah, I think I can say that. They're the kings of dialogue. I don't care what you say about Tarantino. These guys actually know how to write realistic dialogue, and this movie excels at it. The movie is only about 90 minutes long, which is kind of surprising, but it centers around William H. Macy's character.
Blood has been shed, Jerry.
What the heck do you mean?
Who hires two men to hires two men to kidnap his wife. Why do we call it kidnapping when they're an adult? Hires two men to adult nap his wife, and then they hold her hostage, and he has promised to give them money in a car, and then he's going to ask his father-in-law, who's wealthy, for more money than he told the criminals about. So he's keeping more money, giving them $40,000. He's keeping almost $1 million. And chaos ensues, as only it can in a Coen Brothers movie. And what they do so well, they do several things super well. First of all, the dialogue is excellent in this movie. It's got the Fargo accents, even though only the first scene takes place in Fargo. But they've got those Minnesota, North Dakota accents, which are funny. A friend of mine who was actually from Fargo told me that the accents are a little over the top, but it's still funny the way they do it. But so they're the kings at this very realistic dialogue, but at the same time making dialogue that's interesting. And I believe Ethan Coen actually has a degree in philosophy from Princeton, I think. So sometimes they get into some pretty deep stuff, and the way they do it's just very fascinating and interesting. Not as much in this movie, the deep stuff, but it does have very, very believable dialogue that's pretty funny, but not over the top funny. So that's one. Two, the story is very well done. It's very intricate in how it weaves and just spirals out of control. And number three is Frances McDermott's character, Margie, who is my favorite female hero in any movie, hands down. She's a pregnant cop, and she is, like somebody said, she's irritating and extremely likable at the same time. She's smart, she's a person of integrity, and she's on the case, and she's figuring out what has happened in this case. I just love her character. She's so well done. She and her husband, Norm.
Hiya, hon.
I brought you some lunch, Margie. What are those, night crawlers?
Yeah?
Oh, thanks, hon.
In the movie, they're just so believable as a married couple. You can tell they've been married for a while, but they still love each other, and it's just so well done. This movie is fairly rough profanity-wise, but the way they do it is neat because it's the malfeasance that talk that way. Like Margie never actually talks that way in the movie. Her husband never talks that way. And so it's more believable because it's just some of the characters talk that way, which you would think they probably talk to each other that way. And so it doesn't really bother me, but I have had it bother like my parents. It's bothered them before. It does have some violence in it and some, not really nudity, but nudity from behind, I guess you could say. But the movie is worth watching. It goes by quickly, and they shoot it in an interesting way. I just recently was paying attention to this. They do two shots in this movie. I mean, they do a lot of shots, but 2 types of shots. They do shots that are from a long distance and shots that are from a medium distance. So unlike The Silence of the Lambs, which had those up-close, intense shots in people's faces, you don't ever get that in Fargo. What you get are shots that are almost like they're either from a long ways away to set up the stage of something, or they're from about a newscaster's distance, if you pay attention to the movie. And to me, what that does is it starts making it feel like the movie is almost like a 48 Hours episode or a Dateline episode. You start feeling like you're watching something that's real, that you're actually there watching it, because you're never too close to anybody. It's like you're sitting there at the table with them or in the car with them talking to them. They're just at the perfect distance all the time throughout the movie. The movie claims to be based on a true story. It is not. None of it is. I mean, there are bad people out there. But the story's not true. I don't know why they put that in the beginning. It actually bothers me if they did that. Some people think it's funny. I don't know. Maybe they were just testing to see if people would believe it or not. Like, it's one thing when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre claims that, and you're like, yeah, that's not true. But this one could absolutely have happened. It just never did. So let me know what you guys think about that aspect of it. But the movie's great, very quotable, and I love it. I absolutely love the movie Fargo, 1996. Should have won Best Picture instead of The English Patient, but maybe it just means Fargo's a better movie because it didn't win. So that's what I've got. If you want to support the channel, you can rent Fargo using the link in the description below, or if you don't want to watch Fargo but you still want to help us out at A Blind Guy's View, you can use that link to get to Amazon and just buy other things on Amazon. And I still get support for that, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So how cool is that? Also, if you want to sponsor a video, you can email me and tell me you want to sponsor a video, and we'll figure out something. We have a sponsored one coming up I'm working on, and that's just a fun way to also help support the channel, and then you get to feel like it empowers you to become engaged with A Blind Guy's View. How about that? We'll say that. And so just let me know if you want to do that. I'm going to be coming out with some music stuff coming up, some more Metallica type stuff. If you have some other bands you want me to check out, let me know. Like I said, this really is a choose your own adventure. We'll go wherever you guys want to go. And I just thank you so much for all your support and everything that you guys do for me. And I'll just keep working at it. And we'll see you on the next episode of A Blind Guy's View. Laters on the Menjay.
Laters on the Menjay.